Hi, Tony Bradshaw with AddSomeToYourIncome.com, here to look at 24 ideas, 24 passive income ideas to make money while you sleep. This is kind of fun to put together. I got that random number given to me as a challenge. Let's dive in. So I'm always looking for ways to add some to your income, ways for me to add to my income. The three types of income are labor income, passive income, and gift income. This video will focus on only passive income, things that you do now and you make money at the harvest. The first is to hire from the other side of the world. A couple weeks ago, I was at a workshop, and this person was saying how she hires people that live in the Philippines. And while she is sleeping, they work, which is part of her business. So there's that feeling of waking up in the morning and a whole bunch of work has been done for you. That's a lot of how does this build towards passive income? Your work that you're doing, you're hiring people on the other side of the world, and you wake up. I feel like I'm just saying it over again, but there's something more to it that she was saying. I'm just not remembering right now. Anyway, speaking of someone else saying them something, my brother-in-law said one day he woke up and had sold 24,000 books since the last day, like overnight. Well, how did he get to that point? First, he had to learn to write really well and make the sacrifice of going to workshops and working on his craft and getting to the point when he could finally be selling the books, and that it took off on its own. And then he wakes up in the morning and looks to see how many books have been sold and what the royalties are. It might have been exactly 24,000. It was some number like that. But you wake up the next morning, you look, how many books did I sell? Speaking of selling things online as well, there are a lot of places that you can put a course, a class, a workshop, and people can find it and buy it while you are sleeping. Getting to some of the more standard ways of investing and seeing passive income, we have real estate investing. You put together a rental property. Well, each day is an increase in the amount of rent that it may not be that each day is that you get paid, but each day when you wake up in the morning, you're able to think, okay, we're one day closer to that payday when they're going to be paying on the rental. Number 5, and let's keep rolling along, is to invest specifically in the stock market, so that when you wake up in the morning and you hear that it's 100 points more, like I did this morning, you know that your stocks have increased in their value, increasing your money. It's more income to you. A slower and more guaranteed way to see an increase in your money is to put it in the bank. I mentioned here Roth IRA. You can do an investment retirement account that is a standard one or a traditional one. It grows, and then when you draw out the money, you pay the taxes. A Roth IRA was designed by someone whose last name was Roth. He really pushed to get the rules of taxes to work out so that we can put money in that is post-tax dollars today. It grows, and when we take out the money, we don't pay taxes. So I recommend the Roth IRA. I could have done 25 ways to do passive income and said the traditional IRA as well. This increasing of income, it pays out later when you're actually retired, and yet when you're working with money, that's what passive income is so you're doing things now and you're going to get paid later at harvest. Circling back around into real estate investing, combining it with investing in the stock market is where you could look at the real estate investment trusts and other types of real estate stocks that are there, either companies that are in the real estate or these type of trusts that are there, even some mutual funds. that primarily and can just focus on real estate. So you can be putting money into that market that's also within the stock market. Investing, another way, if you're not wanting to put it right into the stock market or into bonds, you could invest in currency. And this isn't just buying gold, which is another way. Boy, I could have 26 now. This is buying the money of another country and then selling it later when it's an increase. And it's the same as the way the market works. You know, buy low, sell high. You might have insider information about what could be happening to the currency of another country by listening and talking with other people that are involved in that country, or you yourself might have been there or have connections to it, like you know where it's at, and you might have the ability to buy that currency, hold on to it, sell it later. That's an investment. The ninth way, circling back to bank accounts, is to talk about the certificate of deposit, or shortened to CD most of the time. These are usually locking your money in with the bank for a long period of time. You could get it out, but it was huge fees that don't make it worth it. And the bank then gives you a higher interest payment back than if you were just putting it into a savings account. This money in a bank account becomes a guaranteed way for you to see a percentage increase over time. You know exactly how much is going to be coming back from the bank. You wake up tomorrow morning and it has grown in size. Now, with back to the real estate, you could hire a broker who works for you, maybe even a broker on the other side of the world, so it's while you're sleeping for sure, or if you just sleep in and your broker has already been working for you, that gets you closer and further into having more money. Same with investing. If you have an investment broker that is buying and selling for you while you sleep. Following after that, we do have the idea of putting money into a bank account for savings, and then lending. So you can lend money two ways. You can lend money and have no collateral. So collateral is where the other person says, I will not be able to sell my vehicle until I pay this back. There are instances though where you lend money and it's just a lend money. It's a handshake deal, basically. It might be in writing, but it's still a handshake deal. The collateral, which is my 14th idea, is where you tie something up that's of value, sometimes putting a lien on a property. A lien means that this property cannot sell until I am paid. I get to be paid before they owe me this amount of money. You can actually exercise your lien at times to say, they owe me this money, they haven't paid me back yet. I demand sell this property or the money, whichever, like until the payment of the money. The process, you can look into it. I obviously don't have time with what I'm going into here, but the process can be that it's held in a long-term escrow account, or it's done through the court system. But either way, when you lend that money, you can have it be connected to collateral instead of just a handshake deal. 15, I was just at an event on Wednesday, just 2 days ago, and the person there talked about how they created an event and they were selling tickets to the event even before the event happened. Even before they were completely ready to put on that event, they had both rented the venue and started selling the tickets. Basically just taking that action to create your event or an event that people can buy and having it the tickets sell online, so it can sell as you are sleeping. Same with places like Etsy, where you create something that others can buy. You wake up in the morning, see how many things got sold. eBay and Marketplace, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of others, are places where you can list items that are for sale. You wake up in the morning to find someone has purchased these items. You may still need to do some action, but you saw an increase to your income, and I call that passive income. Getting paid for work done previously. Business ownership, if you are a sole proprietor, you're the main owner, and you get someone else who's a manager and managing your business and being able to work it where you're not exactly there at the workplace, then you will start seeing that as passive income instead of just labor income. This can also be true if you work out a partnership. You have the business ownership, you've got your partner who is doing certain parts of the business, you're doing other parts of the business, and you see that can increase while you're asleep. And then the real one that is definitely investing in such a way that you are not doing the work, you are home sleeping, and the business grows and you see money back, is to be an angel investor. A silent investor is another type of investing. Basically, you put the money in and someone else is running their business or that business. Speaking of business ownership, but not one of the 24, is just a mention here of stocks. So you see that connection of business ownership as sole proprietor, as a partner. Let's say you create a limited liability partnership, it's known as an LLP, or you have yourself investing in a company as an investor that's not seen. A silent owner is another way of putting it, or an angel investor. And then of course then stocks. When you own stocks, you own part of that business. This idea just kind of came as I was thinking about rental of items, and I decided to put it here, a vehicle rent. You rent out your vehicle. This is not you having to drive it and people pay you. It's rent it either for someone to drive or, well, yeah, for someone else to drive. Or what else they might do. Anyway, moving on. 23, to compose songs. Those songs can be available for purchase and could be purchased while you are asleep. Last one, not necessarily the best one, is to put Google ads on your YouTube channel. I am glad that you are looking for ways to make passive income. If any of these work for you, wonderful. And if you come up with your own, also wonderful. I look forward to seeing you on the other side.